Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Little Cherie Show live from Florence, Italy. Today we have three special guests. These are very special guests because one of them came from the time machine that Mark invented last year. Today's topic is about a novel, and the title is Little Women by May Alcott. Before we start, let's introduce our guest, the author of the novel Louisa May Alcott, the literature expert Professor Nur Shakira, and Miss Nur Najiha, a die-hard fan of novels and short stories. This is a very special occasion because our author here came from the past to the future just for this talk show. Isn't that incredible? Thank you so much for coming to Little Cherie Show and willing to be the first one to try the time machine made by our technical team. So how's the ride? Do you feel sick due to the jet lag or something?
Well, most of it is me getting dizzy, but it's a new experience for me, so it's okay. I came a few weeks earlier to get used to this new world and not act like some ancient pupil. You see, my speech is kind of like you pupil, right? I am very honored to be invited to this show. Back then, I will never imagine my book will still be popular to this day, so thank you so much.
Just to give a brief introduction of this to the audience here, The Little Women was written during the Victorian age, 1830 to 1901, where Alcott prefaces Little Women with an excerpt from John Bunyan's 17th century work, The Pilgrim's Progress, an allegorical novel about leading a Christian life. The title of this novel is very significant because little women are what their father refers to his daughters as. While he is away at war, he sends them letters saying how he is so proud of his little women. Pretty sure most of the novel's diehard fans would definitely have heard of Louisa May Alcott for her massive accomplishment as she was a best-selling novelist of the 80s. She began to publish work under her real name in newspapers and magazines and soon wrote the novel Little Women in 1869. Little Women brought her financial support and people were demanding more of her writing. So Louisa, do you mind sharing with us what Little Women is actually all about?
So, the story follows around the sisterhood of Meg, Jo, Pat, and Amy March, who are raised by their loving mother, Marmee, in a quiet town while their father serves as army chaplain during the American Civil War. It is a story of their passage from childhood to womanhood. Okay, and then the vital force of the family is Joe, a headstrong tomboy who is the emotional center of the book. There's also beautiful vain Meg, who marries Laurie's tutor, John Brooke, and starts her own family. And then we have the quiet, sickly Beth, and lastly, the artistic Amy, who marries Laurie, their childhood friend, after he is turned down by Joe. In conclusion, the story tells how the sisters grow up, find love, and find their place in the world.
Okay, so what are the themes that you would like to focus on when writing this novel?
So, when I was writing this novel, there are two main themes that I focus on while writing this novel, which are social class and family.
So, Prof, give us your thoughts about the themes that were mentioned by the author just now.
In my opinion, the theme of social class can be seen in the book, where the Marches had a servant who would be in a lower class as them, and Amy, the youngest in the March family, was always talking about girls who were richer and higher in society than them. While the theme of family, I can see that Alcott stresses the importance of staying together as a family. For example, when Aunt March offers to adopt one of the March sisters, their parents decline the offer because they believe that sticking together is essential.
Okay, now let us hear from the reader herself regarding the novel generally and what can you actually relate with the themes from the novel and your real life scenario.
Hi, from the reading and themes, I can relate with my life on one thing based on the theme, which is family. My family is a very important part of our life. We need love and support from our family. In every decision I make throughout my life, my family was there to support me. I love my little family. So, from the novel, The author used the affectionate tone to describe characterization of the characters. We all know each sister's personal struggles are described with loving detail, as though the narrator sympathizes with everything they are going through. Sometimes the narrator even goes to great lengths to explain where the characters are coming from and why they react to things the way they do.
Okay, let's talk about the setting and the narrator in the novel here, and how did you actually decide on it?
So for the setting, I chose to write it around 1861 until 1876, during and after the Civil War, because the American Civil War, which happened in 1861 until 1865, was a central event in America's history. And the place I chose will be in a small England town. And then I chose to write the novel from a third person point of view. The narrator will occasionally address the reader directly using the authorial we, and sometimes it will refer to herself using the person pronoun I.
Is there any controversial issue regarding sexism, such as do women equal to men?
The controversial issue happen is gender stereotype. This can be seen in 19th century America, where men and women were expected to fit certain social expectations.
What inspires you to write this novel?
Okay, so as we all know, during the Victorian age, men dominated society. So in the book, men were the ones who were in the war and participating in laborious work. Even though Jo, the female main character, wanted to help fight in the war, she was not able to because she was a woman. This mirrored the problem of women's rights during the Victorian age.
So, Prof, can you give us the depth of the issues in the novel?
So, from the novel, I can see that the novel tends to be idealized portraits of difficult lives in which hard work, perseverance, love, and luck win out in the end. For example, the Marches are not wealthy, and the girls have to learn to live and be happy with what they have. This can be seen where the Hummels are a family in the book and they live in complete poverty. On Christmas morning, the March family sacrificed their Christmas breakfast for the Hummels. Even though the girls struggle with poverty, it helps them to build their character and find happiness.
What about Miss Najiha? What is your opinion about this issue?
Okay, from my opinion, throughout the book, the girls are expected to do what society considers to be proper. They are to have perfectly clean clothes and perfect manners. When a character makes a moral decision, they are happier and they are rewarded. For instance, when the March sister gave their Christmas breakfast to the Hummel, they felt happy and Mr. Lawrence rewarded them with a pie. When a character made an immoral decision, they were not content afterward.
Prof, from this novel, what is your finding from the literature analysis regarding this novel?
Well, there are many literary devices that are found in the novel, like imagery, simile, personification, metaphor, and others. However, there are two examples that I want to focus on, which are personification and metaphor. For personification in page 14, which is, and then the rooms were very still while the pages were softly turned, and the winter sunshine crept in touch the bright heads and serious faces with a Christmas greeting. It describes how Christmas was a new beginning for the sisters. Then the metaphor is, I'm so sorry, but the tongues were too hot, so I've made a mess, groaned poor Joe. Regarding the black pancakes with tears of regret, in page 25, which describes the extent to which the hair was burned.
Miss Najiha, I am intrigued with the umbrella symbol in this novel. Do you mind elaborate more on that from your understanding?
So I don't mind to explain about it. Okay. Umbrella symbolizes the protection a man offers a woman. Before Meg and John Brooke get married, Joe gets angry at Mr. Brooke's umbrella. It seems Joe is angry that Mr. Brooke is going to take care of her sister.
Okay, Prof, as we all know that you are the expert in this field, if you don't mind, would you elaborate more on your analysis on this novel? Okay, Prof, as we all know that you are the expert in this field, if you don't mind, would you elaborate more on your analysis of this novel?
Oh, yes, I can. In general, the diction is very proper and she uses large vocabulary like that canonized for us one scenes in chapter 46. However, the diction does change when Alcott focuses on a certain character because she narrates in the way that the character will talk. It makes the story and the character come alive and allows the reader to get an insight into the personality of a character. For example, when Alcott talks about Jo, suddenly her diction changes to a tomboyish girl with problems about dressing up, being a woman, and others.
Alright, Miss Najiha, do you mind sharing with us what did you like or dislike about this novel?
I only have the light of this novel. So there are a lot of things that I like about this novel. First of all, it has theme in it that every generation can relate to, including me, the younger generation. This includes the bonds of sisters' love, the personality clashes of sisters. The four sisters are all very different from each other. It is a book about family ties, about how they cope with having their father away at the war, and how many children had to cope with this. It is about a mother's love as well. The book contains all the dramas of life which an individual experiences, such as growing up, being part of a family, forming a life of one's own, grief, loss, and also love.
Okay, as you can see, that Little Women demonstrates the good nature of men through independence, selflessness, and loving encouragement. Alcott was able to effectively foreshadow many events that the reader may not suspect without previous knowledge of the events, and as a result, made the characters jump off the page and into the reader's hearts. Well, I guess that would be all for today. It's time to wrap up the show. Thank you for your support and your time, everyone. Don't forget to join us next week on the Little Cherie Show. Same day and same time. I'm your host, Amani. See ya!
Bye!